With 180 registered guests today, we know that the CIO Council is relevant. We know that people want to be here, and we hope that those who are here today can carry the message about doing more with less, carry that message further.
Today's conference was about doing more with less, and that seems to be prevalent in every conversation we have. CIOs are being stretched to make sure that they still meet the business needs and requirement, while also meeting the business needs and requirement, of course, of managing costs.
With a lesser budget, with constraints around money, with constraints around skills and staff, this is what's being pushed back, and it's a very challenging space that we talk about.
It's only going to get more challenging, so the more we are able to talk about it, the more we can appreciate how business and CIOs need to interact better.
Management is having a difficult time locally. The economy is growing too slowly, so demand in most sectors of the economy is not doing what most businesses would like. All that adds up to a very subdued corporate environment, relatively mixed confidence levels. But that condition can change again in our favor, but we need policy changes that will make that come true. We got stuck at the mid-level. Has never happened before. An anomaly. But an anomaly which is so significant that you should not just step over it like a body on the pavement. This is something that actually tells you something about the greater system. I would expect that growth will remain constrained, especially by supply features. And there it depends, every company has a unique exposure to the electricity situation, to labor relations, to government regulations, and that will determine for every company uniquely what their real exposure is.
How do we as CIOs do more with less?
The cost pressures on CIOs are remaining the same, whilst growth in technology and demand from the organisation, which sees technology as the biggest driver, is just making things much more difficult. IT needs to change its role in terms of how it engages with the rest of the organisation. It's no longer the owner of technology. It's acting more often as a consultant or maybe a coach to people who are making technology decisions. I think that also it needs to apply judgment as to how it applies the processes that it's built up to control technology. And finally, there's an issue that needs to be taken into account, which is that of the skills of IT, because it's not just a case of I'm business facing or I'm a technical expert. You have to do both.
Technology has become ubiquitous, and the ease with which people can purchase it has gone up. Things like cloud, you don't necessarily need IT to run this, and everybody now either is or thinks that they're an expert on technology. Business leaders are taking the lead on technology projects. They're allocating money to technology outside of the IT budget.
How do you look at that and say, right, what is best for your business? How do you make sure you're managing that appropriately? These are huge challenges for a CIO today, and it is something that I believe by talking to each other we can certainly meet and understand more about.
The best form of learning comes from your peers, and these networking events where people can share their problems and discuss them very openly is hugely valuable, and it's something that CB does a lot.